I mean, I'd love to see it get all the volume, but I think it would have to be extremely high price in order for it to be liquid enough to settle all of those things. And you probably need, again, I've talked about this before, but an implicit or explicit subnet that, you know, ends up settling on the back end through XRP. So the answer is no, and that's why they've been trialing a lot of this without XRP in the short term here. But as they push more liquidity into it, we see more traction on the network and more volume starts to move through XRP. It's a positive feedback loop or flywheel, if you will, so that more and more transactions will settle through XRP and then push the price higher and give it a price floor. As far as XLM getting so much so far versus XRP, the market is still complete speculation. And other people would tell you the market's controlled and manipulated. I would probably agree with that to some extent. It only takes a couple $1 billion to really manipulate the market in any capacity at this point because of how nascent it is. I mean, there was a metric on Monday that I thought was very interesting. Elon Musk is now worth more than all of Bitcoin, right? One individual on the planet has a higher market cap than Bitcoin itself. So anyway, all that being said, I would agree that both are true. Still completely speculative. We don't have real utility driving the valuation of these networks and assets yet, nor do we have a market that's without manipulation. Large institutions are definitely here, and they are manipulating prices to their advantage. These are not securities. And so, until there's a regulatory body that sits over this and looks for market manipulation and also reprimands people for doing those things, I don't know that there's any incentive for people not to do that. Hey, good to see you. They say legend. Next BOJ meeting is in July, unless if Iran's volatility violates the agreement, U.S. attacks, oil rises, Bank of Japan raises interest rates 0.5, Fed lowers interest rates, OCC publishes guidance, BlackRock launches an ETF for XRP, Evernorth buys XRP, Senate approves the Clarity Act, and Trump signs it, emergency mode. I agree with all of that, comma, I don't know about the Clarity Act. I've said this a lot, and again, people don't like it for whatever reason, but XRP doesn't need the Clarity Act. Some of the other networks do. A lot of the other networks do. Charles Hoskinson's not happy because he needs the Clarity Act and Ripple does not. And he, voiced that. So if that's not an indicator for you, I don't know what is. Could that happen? Could it be the catalyst that pushes Congress over the edge and they have to act quickly and get things done? Potentially. But I'm still not overly certain that even if we see these catalysts play out, that they're going to rush the Clarity Act through. Would love to be wrong. Again, also, I was literally on Capitol Hill the same week the Genius Act got passed, talking to congressmen and women, trying to advocate for them to pass both pieces of legislation. So I want the Clarity Act passed. I just see the opportunity in the market for XRP in particular if it's not instated. I think that gives it somewhat of a moat. So once it's already implemented and at scale and usable, and they need to roll out DeFi to the institutions, I think at that point they will pass the Clarity Act. Is that now? Is it later? Again, I think things could move very quickly for XRP and its implementation here in the next, call it, less than 20 days, 13 days, something like that. So do they pass Clarity quickly after that on July 4th? Sure, plausible.